What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Maize and Bluebeard podcast, where we talk all things Michigan, football and basketball, and all other sports, because we love all our Michigan Wolverines. Thanks for being here. I'm Chris. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out and talk some Michigan sports with me. You can see here what we're going to get into. We're going to revisit Joel Klatt's top 10 list and talk about what he had to say about Kyle Whittingham and why he put him at number 7 in that list. We're also going to take a look at some of the Michigan Wolverines players who have graduated and who are in the NFL draft combine, how they did, how their projections are looking, update you on that. Then we'll talk about some recruiting stuff, including a new QB that Michigan offered. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a question of the day results from yesterday when I asked who is going to be the leader for all-purpose yards, receiving, rushing, kick returns, all the things next year. All that and more on this episode of the Maize and Bluebeard podcast. Let's go blue. And let's get to Last week we talked about Joel Klatt's top 10 coach list that he put out that caused quite a stir, as those things do. I mean, every fan that doesn't see their team on there, their coach on there, they get mad. Or if it's below this guy, it's people tear that stuff apart. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I wanted to circle back to it and just tell you what Joel Klatt said about Kyle Whittingham, why he put him at number 7, because I think it's just cool to hear some of the things that he thought about Kyle Whittingham. So, what did he say about our boy, Coach Whitt? He said, Kyle is a HE-double hockey stick of a football coach. And you have to understand where he brought Utah from all the way. Now, that was a very good program, and obviously he got the job after Urban Meyer had kind of elevated them to the national stage. But he's the one, Kyle Whittingham is the one that took them from the group of 5 into the Pac-12, and then made the transition into the Big 12. Like, he did a lot of things at Utah and made them a perennial top 15, top 10 team in the country. And he did. So I would argue, without the best talent in the country. His teams play exceptionally hard, they're physical, they're sound, and they're well coached. Okay, so Kyle Whittingham is going to be there. It's still kind of weird for me to think that he's at Michigan. He's so Utah to me. But now obviously he's a Michigan man, and I can't wait to see what he does in Ann Arbor for Michigan. So a couple things on there that I love. First of all, a lot of people say, well, he only did it because Urban Meyer put him on the map. And it's like, come on now. He coached there another 20 years after that. Like, it wasn't like he was an assistant to Urban Meyer, then coached a couple of years, and now he's at Michigan. Like, he was there for a long time. That was his team. Those people that Urban Meyer got were long gone. That spotlight from Urban Meyer was long gone. Kyle Whittingham has kept them solid, sound, and continuously in the top 15. And with 3-star talent at best, maybe a 4-star here or there. And he just knows how to coach them up. He knows how to do it right. So it's just cool to really think about that, really dive into that, because I think sometimes what happens with us Michigan fans is we just get so focused on what's been going on. We think about how the team has looked under Sharon Moore, under his coaching staff. We think about all the drama, all the junk, and we don't really think about. You can't think about Michigan football the last couple of years because it's different now. You got to think about Utah and what they were like. But now picture that with all the talent and the resources he has here. Like, sometimes we just need a moment to remember how good of a shape we are in right now with this football team going forward and this coach. Regardless of seeing it play out on the field, Kyle Whittingham is not a first-time coach. He's not a newbie coach. He knows what he's doing. He's brought in a great staff. And you can just look at Utah and see what he was able to do continuously. Even if they didn't win the national championship, they were a tough, hard-nosed football team, did things the right way. And I cannot wait to see that for Michigan. And the other part, like I said, his teams play exceptionally hard. They're physical, sound, and well-coached. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. If you have that as a base, look at what those Utah teams were able to do when things clicked and have a special year here or there. Well, now you take a team that has 4- and 5-star talent. You have that base where they're well coached, hard-nosed, tough, and you put those together. without all the drama and the noise and the junk. Holy Toledo. I tell you, I cannot wait. So just a nice reminder to remember that we have a stud head coach who's put together a great staff. He's done a remarkable job recruiting and with the transfer portal with the time he had. And it's just, he just continues to make great moves with his position coach hires, the GM. Like, I'm just excited to see how it all works out. And yes, I get it. There's going to be a lot of people that say, not until I see it on the field. But if you want to see it on the field, look at Utah and you'll see a really good team that's worth supporting and getting excited about. But now add even more talent because they don't have the talent that Michigan has. So it's pretty awesome. Dusty May at a recent press conference was asked some more about the LJ Cason injury and what they're going to do going forward. Of course, he's not going to just lay it all out for everybody with the Iowa game coming up, but he did say a couple things that were interesting that I wanted to share with you guys. So when he was asked about it, he mentioned that they were going to roll with an 8-man rotation. Now they used to do 9, and he did say a 9-man rotation I think is too deep. That's playing too many guys if you want to optimize everyone. But we felt like we had 9 guys that deserved to play that gave us a different element. And there wasn't any of those 9s we felt like we could cut out of the rotation because of how good they are. That just speaks to this team's depth. Then he said, we look at this, the LJ Cason injury, as another challenge, but it's also an opportunity for guys to play a little bit more, to play through mistakes, and to play a little bit different role. We do feel like these guys are a lot better than they were earlier in the year, and so they are prepared to handle whatever comes at us. So I thought that was kind of cool to hear him say, one, it's a good reminder that not many teams go 9 deep into the bench, so even going 8 deep is really impressive. So they still have a lot of depth, which is a great thing. And then just his mindset, his vibe, his energy, the environment he creates is just such a safe space for a college player to grow and learn and just get confident. Just the way he says that, it's their chance to play a little more. It's their chance to make some mistakes and learn and grow and try things out and play a little bit different role. I feel like that's a key part because we've talked about how guys are going to have to play more minutes. Some guys are going to have to bring the ball off the floor a little bit here and there when Cadeau or Lindenborg aren't on the floor. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does going forward. But I just love hearing him so unflappable, such a great leader. And he has so much confidence in this team. It just oozes off him in press conferences. And if you're on that team, how can you not just feel like, we're good, let's go, let's all step up and get this done. So I'm excited for that game Thursday night. As we get closer, we'll take a look at Iowa and break it down, talk about keys to victory and all that stuff. But I just thought that was interesting what he said about that. So go blue, baby. Now let's talk some recruiting. First up, Michigan offered another quarterback, this for the 2028 class, so not next year, but the following year. It was right now a sophomore in high school in Coppell, Texas, Carter Zingelman, 6'5", 220, already as a sophomore. And here was his stats from last year. So his passing stats, he completed almost 70% of his passes, so very accurate. For 1,865 yards, an average of well over 14 yards a pass, which is great. 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So not amazing, but remember he is also a sophomore, so keep that in mind. But here's what's cool with him. He is also a track star, so he is a really good runner. And here was his rushing stats from his sophomore year: 118 carries, 754 yards, 6.4 average yards per carry, with a long of 55, and he had 14 rushing touchdowns. So 30 touchdowns altogether he accounted for. Actually 31, because he did also catch 2 passes for 15 yards. One of them was a touchdown. So just a really interesting player. I love his size already, because you think he's a sophomore. He's 16, he's going to keep growing. So, just imagine how he's going to look by the time he graduates. Of course, there's an offer. We'll see. He's got lots of other big colleges after him. But it's just, when you think about someone like him and then Tabor from Cass Tech, if they could grab those two in 2028, and then you got like Lapati and Weber in 2027, like you got Tommy Carr and Schmiegel there now. Underwood, Hurley, like they've got so many good young quarterbacks. Like I'm pumped for this recruiting, the way that this coaching staff is recruiting. Awesome stuff. Michigan recently offered and has moved up the board for another exciting linebacker prospect for the 2027 recruiting class. We know we love hearing about awesome linebackers that might come to Michigan. This is Jaden Nelson out of Texas, Langham Creek High School in Houston, Texas, 6'3", 210 pounds. And last year, let's see, his sophomore season, he had 42 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble recovery. And then last year, listen to this, he had a jump, 59 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, only 2.5 the year before, 3 sacks, which is up 1, a pick 6, and 4 forced fumbles. So just an athletic freak. He does track and field. He's very quick. Just an aggressive linebacker. Watching some tape of him, he looks awesome. So another cool linebacker that Michigan's going after. So Michigan just keeps continuing to offer some awesome people. So get excited about how well this staff is recruiting. I can't wait to see where all the chips fall and who they get. But keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Jaden Nelson. Looks like he could be a really great linebacker. Another great linebacker for Michigan. Now it's time for the question of the day, results from yesterday. Remember, I ask a question of the day every day, so if you didn't vote today, head to the community tab after this video and go vote. Yesterday I said, which player will have the most all-purpose yards next season? You could pick from Jordan Marshall, Andrew Marsh, Savion Hyder, or somebody else. Results are in, and here they are. As you can see here, the runaway winner was Jordan Marshall, and this one could be tough to beat because I think he is just going to be a stud in the backfield, and he could have so many yards rushing, which will be awesome. Andrew Marsh, if he does some returning, he could get it because he's going to be our number 1 wide receiver. And Savion Hyder, if he returns kicks and punts and takes off in the running back in the backfield, it could be him as two. Moa, who knows? JJ Buchanan. There's so many options here for who it could end up being. Maybe Moa has some pick 6s, returns punts and kicks, and gets in at receiver. When you're talking all-purpose yards, all bets are off. So it's exciting to see who it's going to be. But I think it probably will be Marshall because he's going to be a workhorse, bell cow running back, and he's going to get a lot of yards. But we'll see. There's a lot of fun options on here. But I would probably agree with that choice. Remember, if you haven't voted on today's question of the day, go vote now. Thanks for voting today. That's going to do it for this episode of the Maize and Bluebeard podcast. Thanks again for hanging out. You guys are the best. Remember, if you are having fun and you haven't subscribed yet, we are on our way to 1,000 subs. When we get there, I'm dyeing this beard maize and blue, and we're going to do live stream celebration. So look forward to that. And again, thank you for your support. Well, that's going to do it. So until I see you in the next episode, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. And as always, go blue.